30 years ago, July 14th, 1990, it was a Saturday, and at midday, Dan Collins was the first person on Radio Kerry 97 FM, right out of that building just over there. Radio Kerry was based out of there till the mid-90s, but it all began just here 30 years ago today. This today is Radio Kerry headquarters. It's gone through a couple of refurbs since the mid-90s, including 2 years ago we did a full technology refit. We did a couple of bits inside the building. So let's take a look inside to what you listen to every day. So welcome to the reception area of Radio Kerry. Now, as you can see from the big yellow posters, while this is being filmed, we're right in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic. So we're trying to keep our 2-meter distance, and actually as a result a lot of the staff are working remotely, so we won't see everybody on this video, but there is still some staff here. In the main reception we had a big refurb and a big refit 2 years ago, as we've mentioned, and we've kind of got this amazing looking marble-esque reception area. Elma is currently working and she's working very hard, and just behind you you'll see a shot of our lovely radio awards that we've won many down through the years. Now, over the course of the next bit, we'll give you a look at the offices, some of the staff that are in here and work, and of course the studios. And just down here, if you follow me, we've also got a brand new state-of-the-art training facility, which was part of our refit. So come this way. So this is Radio Kerry training. 2 big training rooms. Now, the students aren't here today because they're on their summer break. But as you'll see, the rooms themselves are fitted out and kitted out with all the latest gear for our students. Inside here they have their state-of-the-art broadcast studio, which we ourselves have actually used from time to time for various things, whether that be pre-recorded interviews or we actually used it whilst we were refurbishing upstairs as well. So this is state-of-the-art technology inside here. So here on the first floor in Radio Kerry, this is where our sales and marketing department are based, and the CEO's office, financial controller and so on. And as you can see, sometimes the lads aren't always in the office because they're out on the road doing their bits. But as you can see from the long hallway, this is where some of the main people in Radio Kerry are based. We'll go left shortly and we'll show you the studios and where the on-air output comes from. All the shows are broadcast from down here, the news, the sport, and all our production bits are done from down here. But before all that, we need to prepare what's going to go out on the radio, and that happens down this side of the building. So let's have a look. First things first, every morning Elaine and myself, for Kerry's for breakfast, 7 to 9 a.m, we get ready in this room. So Elaine sits here, I sit over there, and Brendan Fuller from the afternoon show, he sits over there. Now they're not here right now, and the office is still a mess, which is probably my fault, but let's not go there. But before we go down and we actually present on air, we gather everything up. We get our music ready, we get all the bits we're going to talk about, we maybe have a flick through the newspapers, and all the other bits that we need on air is all prepared for the on-air show down here. Likewise, across in this room, the news and sport is also prepared from here. Quick look inside this room. Now, it doesn't look like much. In fact, it just looks like a storage closet, but this is actually the Radio Kerry music library. There is thousands of CDs, vinyl records, cart tapes, cassette tapes, mini discs, you name it, hard disk recorders, all inside in this room. Now, after our big refurb, everything moved to digital. So a lot of the stuff, while still in use actually today by certain programs and presenters, it's no longer used as much as it was, and therefore it's here for posterity reasons more than anything else, and it is being used as a storage facility. But this is still technically the Radio Kerry Music Library. There is so much brilliant content in this room, including award-winning documentaries, some of the various radio award winners themselves, and umpteen songs, all inside in this room. So, the on-air element, the bits you actually hear coming out of the radio every single day. Right now, Francis Jones is live on the 11 to 1 club. He's broadcasting from the main on-air Studio 1. Now, this is the main control centre for the entire radio studios. Inside here, you have Kerry's for breakfast, the 11 to 1 club, the afternoon show, all done and broadcast from in here. But it's also the main control room then for all of the news bulletins, Kerry Today, Talk About, the main lunchtime at 1 o'clock news and the evening news at 5:30, as well as Terrace Talk and Weekend Sports. It's the control centre for all of those. Where some of those programmes are actually broadcast is what's known as Studio 2, and we'll have a look at that next. So this is Studio 2. This is where Jerry O'Sullivan presents Kerry Today. The main 1 o'clock news comes from. Deirdre Walsh presents Talk About. You've got Terrace Talk comes from this room. Weekend Sports comes from this room. The Saturday Supplement comes from this room. And they're all controlled by our aforementioned Studio 1 next door. And as you can see, because it's the bigger room, this is where all the guests would come in for the various talk programs. So let's just take, for instance, Kerry Today with Jerry might have a political debate. Then all of the various candidates for the political parties will sit here in front of him. He has access to Trasa, his producer, will be sitting next door. She can talk directly to him, and through the magic of the laptops, we can send him messages, and he can also see exactly what's being broadcast out on the radio from this screen here in front of him as well. It's obviously the bigger studios. There's 2 TVs here, and that's for a very good reason. The reason there's 2 televisions is simply because, let's just say Weekend Sports is on in the middle of a Saturday afternoon. They can have the Kerry match on one TV channel, maybe horse racing or a soccer match on another TV channel, and then they can continually keep up to date with scores and so on. It's also used primarily for watching World Cup games if there's a World Cup on. So this is On Air 2, or Studio 3 as we call it. Now this room is identical to the on-air studio above where the main control room is, with one exception. The room is actually a little bit bigger, and the reason being is because we'd often get bands would visit us, and rather than cramp everybody into the one room above, we could actually set them up for a live session here. So the room, with the one exception, is identical, except that it's a little bit bigger. And it's interesting that you're here because as part of the Radio Kerry 30th birthday celebrations, we're in the process of going through old archive footage, and we've come across a load of different bits. Now, when you hear an ad break on the radio, we press one button and it fires, and it's very simple. It's all done digitally. Back in the early days of radio, not so much. This is the cart machine. And what happens was you might have 3 of these in the studio. You would then have your carts all lined up, labelled A, B and C, let's say. You'd have to play A, followed by B, followed by C, in that order. You might even have a D on top of it, and so on. And the order was important. So while it's very easy for us these days to click one button, back in the early days of Radio Kerry, you had 3 of these machines stacked on top of each other, and you had to play them all manually, as you were also trying to line up your caller or your song or whatever. We have it far easier these days. So this is the main production studio. Now what happens in this room is all of the commercials that you hear on the radio on a daily basis are recorded and produced in-house here by Alan Finn, our production manager. So someone like me or Elaine Kinsella or Francis Jones would be given a script to record for whatever the client may be. We'll sit in here, Alan will then record us, he'll put it all together, and then that's what you hear in the ad break as it goes out. Alan himself is also one of our in-house voiceovers for the various station bits as well. But this is primarily, all of the ads and all of the bits you hear in between songs are all produced in-house here within this room. Now this, of all of the places you've seen in Radio Kerry, this is probably the most important place in the whole building. And the reason being is because this is our engineer Trevor Galvin's rack room, as it's known as. And inside here, it has the server to every computer in the building, every piece of software you've seen, all of the studio desks, everything is controlled. It's like the brains of the operation inside here. If something in here doesn't work, it means that an office within the building probably has also gone offline for whatever reason. But this is also the main thing that keeps us transmitting to all of our sites, broadcasting throughout the whole county, and of course online and beyond as well. So this is literally the brains of the entire building. So that's it, 30 years on air. That's just a very quick glimpse into what we do in here at Radio Kerry every single day. So let me just take this opportunity on behalf of everybody who works here by saying thank you, whether you're somebody who's listened to the radio station, who's been a contributor in any way, shape or form, a client of ours, whatever it is. Thank you for everything, and here's to 30 more years. Now, I don't know about you, it's time for me to get out of here. So happy birthday to everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck.